NERDSoul. So next up, the episode 9.
Juneteenth. Woo! Happy Juneteenth.
Man,
Happy Juneteenth. Wow.
Bougie Geek, start off with your thoughts.
Okay, Bougie Geek. Now everyone,
because you was in Juneteenth.
I was feeling the Juneteenth party a little bit, but the host was mad bougie. Like, I'm bougie, but she was on another level.
Man.
Like, honey, let's talk about, first of all, you throwing this Juneteenth party with your white husband. I can't with you. Like, I can't take you seriously, and all your help is black. Like, for me, you gotta switch it up. You gotta have at least a white staff if you're gonna throw me a Juneteenth party.
Well, it's weird. It's like, do you not on Juneteenth? Do you not put the money back in your community, or it's weird because it's like, I think it's the way she treated them.
It was the way she treated them, like she was better than them.
Yeah, because if she treated them
with
like
that whack ass drink list, and Ern can't order his rum, eat his Coke.
Okay.
It was like Sambo, sangria,
right,
and like it was. Oh man,
those drinks were horrible. Now that brings me to a point where I have heard this criticism, and like that was a moment where I kind of agreed with it. It was my first time with the criticism of the N-word use, and how I just do not think somebody in that situation, even though we all know, Ern knows that other dudes know he drink juice. We know everybody sees him as the soft dude that he is. Right? I just do not think I would want to take the chance of employment and be like, because it made perfect sense when it happened to Paperboy.
Yeah.
Where she did that code switch and like, this ain't a movie.
Oh,
I thought that was real talk. Like, I felt like the person working there, she switched up on you real. Like, I work in the jail. I work with trifling people, so I'm allowed to do that.
But let's think back. Ern's been treated like this since day one. And remember, he tried to order the kids' meal from the restaurant. She clocked him quick.
That makes sense. But again, it's the circumstances around this particular one. We're talking about someone bougie. She's keeping her help in line, at least for the most part.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't want to cross this chick and she likes, when you first get into it, she really likes her.
She really likes her.
Vanessa,
because he's lying.
Because he's lying. But Vanessa has to drag Ern there because that's her ticket kind of in.
Right.
Because Vanessa herself isn't a fancy lady. It's your Princeton educated husband that I'm interested in.
Very true.
So I just felt like that probably wouldn't.
But here you go. Think about this. So the show is talked about from Ern's. We see it from Ern's point of view. Is this how he's perceiving it,
or did it really happen?
Or did it?
Right. Oh, that's such a good point.
Is this just how Ern feels people talk to him? Like, is his parents really rude to him like that? Because I don't want to believe that.
And that goes to the moment.
Like perspective, like reality, like. Whose reality are we? Is this like real?
Well, it goes to the moment in the first episode where he sees that dog, and he's like meditating and stuff, and you're like, "Hold up, was the dog real?"
Or the guy in the bus?
Yeah, or the guy on the bus.
That dude on the bus is kidding me.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes us think no, because if it wasn't for the band episode, if it wasn't for the band episode and the fake commercial, well, not fake, but the commercials that he had that were genius. By the way,
the commercials were great.
Yes. If it wasn't for those commercials, I was definitely going to make that argument of whether dude in a tie talking about eat this sandwich was real, because I was like, never in my life have I had somebody roll up on me and lie.
And he was very adamant about that sandwich.
Right. Like, if you don't eat this, it's going to be a problem. Like, oh hell no, it's about to go off. And I mean, I don't care who you did that to. From LA to Atlanta, you don't, nah. And so I was really, and then it had the dog that they had seen earlier. So there was so much stuff going on with that. I'm like, is that real though?
Is this real? Is this happening? Or is this Ern's perspective of his life in Atlanta?
Right.
Because to everyone else, he seems crazy, but he's like, to him, everyone else is off their rockers.
Even the commercials, now that I think about it, might not even make us in the real, because remember how the Dodger commercial ends. So all the commercials start off pretty like standard normal commercials.
Arizona iced tea,
and then they like I don't know. This is like a weird analogy, but like at Disneyland, where you go in the haunted house, and the first part of the haunted house, you have all these pictures, and they seem like, la la la, we're having a good time,
right.
and then they stretch,
and
then they're
evil
all
stuff,
evil stuff, like somebody's like on a tightrope with an alligator about to eat them and stuff like that. And so maybe that's how all these commercials ended. All of them ended like this, by the way.
Ooh.
It's like you think it's like, and it was really done. That Dodger commercial was really done, because when I first saw it, I really thought it was Dodger commercial. Something was a little off about it, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. And then, but it very much stayed in line until the very end. And then you're like, you got out, didn't have pants on, and then like he lost everything in divorce. All he wanted was his Dodge Charger, and he rides around. Deucing at people. I was like, dang.
So back to Juneteenth. Another joint that was strong in that episode was the prevalence of white guilt.
Right.
The husband, so much white guilt that he felt he had to like prove.
Make it extra.
Yeah,
the handshake. And what African country are you from?
Yeah, like he had to like almost prove that he knew more about being black than a black person.
The question is, do we prefer that?
He literally went there.
Yeah.
He literally went there with Earn, where you tried to correct him, and I was like, dang, like really, you need to slow your roll.
Said you've never been to Africa?
See, I want to go a different route, because while I do think black guilt is involved in this is like a different way of saying, to leave my black guilt, I'm gonna be like, not only is black cool, but I fetishize it. I think many of us been there. I know I've been there. I've had people where I feel like I've dated people or been interested in people, or people been interested in me, where I felt like if I literally switched places with you, they would keep talking, like, because it's not me they're interested in. They're interested in me being a black woman and all that. And I felt like that's where he was coming from, where it is fetishized. It is a result of our history where you fetishize strength. Like I remember dating people where they wanted me to be like out there with attitude, bitchy, and like I'm not like that. What are you getting at? So I feel like, because he has his bougie black wife, she's like she's out there. She's like this aggressive.
But
black,
he was even embarrassed by
angry.
her at the end of the episode.
At
At
the end, she stepped, but that's only because she's crushing like his desire to fit in and like embrace the rapper code. Like I think
he was embarrassed by what was happening.
What was happening, because he found out who Earn was.
Yes.
And he's like, oh my goodness.
He was so excited.
He's so excited.
Yeah.
This is my way into this. This is maybe one place that he cannot go as a very rich, very white person.
Right.
With it's very obvious that unfortunately what he thinks is genuine is just fetish. It's just like kind of disturbing.
And it's almost to the point where it's pathetic.
Right, exactly. It's not
it's like, please look at me, I'm not racist. Please, I'm down.
And to the point that it becomes that, because you reduce people to these one things. They don't get to be individual people. They're still just their race.
And speaking about
you go the other direction with it.
Yeah, and speaking about the correction, one of the funny moments is when Vanessa and his wife, the white guy's wife, are talking, and he said, girl, he told my grandma how to make greens.
Oh my goodness.
Man,
that she was cooking her. No, she said that she had been cooking she cooked her greens wrong.
Yeah. And man, look, let me tell you, if a white man told my grandma that, I don't even know if she would have stopped stirring that wooden spoon while she smacked him. She probably would have smacked him so fast that he'd be like, because, or it would have probably been like something like, she would have been stirring and be like, he better get the hell up out of my kitchen. It would have been like, man.
I'm not even mad at him, I'm mad at her. Don't you ever let anyone correct your mama's cooking, period. First of all. If I even go in the kitchen while my grandma's cooking, it's hell. It's like, get out. You're going to ruin it. So the nerve.
If I went in mine, I just get put to work, so I stayed away. Stay away.
So like we had this situation with white guilt. We had this situation also with a wife that knows what the deal is, that knows what's going on, but is completely content because of the position that it puts her in.
Right.
Like, her house was cool.
Money doesn't see race. Money don't see race. You can still be bougie be asshole and be black. That's what I think is
Yeah.
nice for audience to see. Is not we're not all on the same level.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely a divide between the upper class and middle class.
It
and black
always
people.
gets to the idea that at the end of the day, we're not monolith. I talk about this online. I've written papers about it. Like, always like letting people know that both to people who are non-black and to black people, that we need to embrace, celebrate, and really recognize the diversity that's within the black community and all communities for that matter.
True.
Each race or ethnicity are a group of individuals who take pride in our communities and our chosen tribes. We ride for those tribes that we've chosen, but we're still individuals. And like what I do does not reflect on you.
Yeah.
Let me not say necessarily. Does not reflect on the next person.
Yeah, and I think they take it because so many black people's experience was similar in America.
Yeah.
But that's why they try to.
Like the tie
that's why they try to like dump us all in the same box.
Right, yeah.
Because they're like, oh well, you all came up in an urban area. Well, not really.
Not really.
But we might have known people that did, or we might have been adjacent to it, but that doesn't mean that was our situation. But I think that episode was just a standout as far as like race relations.
I really think it can up the last one, but it did.
Yeah.
It went in a different direction
Yeah.
to outdo the last one.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was nice to see Vanessa finally stick up for Earn and not like he was dragging the whole episode, and he at the end he couldn't take it, and then finally in the car she gave him some.
Yeah. He was like
some of that smooth loving.
I just want to point out that when he stopped being that dude that drank juice, he got it. I was like, I don't know.
That's what she was waiting for the whole time.
She was waiting for you to step up and be a man, because she needs you to be a father, and to be a father.
And I love she took that last drink at the end. She said, you know what, just be all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
She was like,
because she was done with that. She was up to it.
I was like, that was hard, because I mean, each group they're talking to, they kind of highlight a different issue.
Yeah.
It's like they come into
episode,
like there's so many shades of this like bougie, self-loathing, kind of like internalized racism within our community. There's so many fractions. Unfortunately, as we celebrate, say, as individuals, that we are diverse, we have all these things going on, we have these layers to us. What we forget to recognize is that bigotry also has layers to it. It has multiple faces to it.
Yes.
It's not,
racism is not just one thing.
No.
It's not subtle.
Different classes.
It can be subtle. It can do all kinds of and at different levels, like different classes.
Yeah,
and then for those people saying that I'm not racist, that doesn't mean that you cannot be prejudiced, and it doesn't mean that you cannot be biased.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
so you know, because a lot of people think racism is only hanging people.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
That's so not true.
It's exclusion. It's all kinds of things.
I make the difference that, you know, if you get into racism, I totally believe in the whole idea of systematic. It comes from a place of power on those who don't have power. I think everybody's guilty of prejudice and bigotry. Being gay, being black, whatever.
Even our beloved Darius.
Yeah,
even some prejudice
oh
comments.
My goodness, that dude! Like everybody goes on about how wise Darius is, and I'm the same way, because he does to me. He says some.
He's our Yoda. Yeah.
He's our Yoda, but even then, and he's like in the racist book. I thought it was so funny. Like,
Chinese people are short because Genghis Khan killed all the tall people. Darius, come on.
Like Darius is just that dude.